My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
If you were caught up in the Barbenheimer frenzy, if you love ranking the Mission Impossible films, if you are just an all-around movie fan, I have a podcast for you. Hello, I'm Amy Nicholson. I'm a film critic who writes for the New York Times, and I am also the co-host of Unspooled, the ultimate movie podcast. Each week, my co-host Paul Scheer and I unspool famous films to see if they are truly all-time classics. From the original 1984 Karate Kid to Children of Men to more recent pictures to Dune, yes, to Citizen Kane, we cover it all. Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what legends have found. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Lez Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Leigh Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where you can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. And in season 8, we are continuing to release our bonus Patreon episodes. You can find those at bit.ly/LesPatreon. Our last one was on Dykes the Musical, and our next one will be on Amelia Perez. So just wait for that.
In the Greater Les universe, some of you may have seen the trailer just dropped for a new movie called The Wedding Banquet, and it looks so crazy, so gay. It's starring Bowen Yang. It's got Calamari Tran in it. It is incredible. I think it's a remake of an older movie. But the basic story is you have two gay couples living together, and they decide to beard up for the purposes of not having to out one of the men to his extremely old school grandma who comes to town to visit, and suddenly they have to throw this whole fake straight wedding. Looks great. I'm very excited. You should all be excited, and I can't wait to see it.
We love, what did they call it? A lavender marriage?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good manual for, what might be coming up for all of us. So, hey, take some notes while you're there.
Might as well take some notes while you're laughing.
Yeah.
Also in the UK, they did a new study that found that 4 times as many young people identify as LGBTQ in the past decade as they did in the previous decade. And I'm not surprised by that. I mean, Leigh and I know you're all gay.
Yeah.
Everyone is gay. But it says 1 in 10 young people in the UK identify as gay. And I'm like, yes, 10%. Keep that shit rocking.
Keep climbing. Keep reaching for the stars, y'all. Keep recruiting. Out here doing the Lord's work. Keep handing out pamphlets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Also, listen, we talked a little bit about the US version of The Traitors and the gay things happening there. I also think we should take a moment to shout out the UK Traitors, because the winner of the Traitors UK, Leanne Quigley, just came out and said that what she's planning to do with her prize money is throw a lavish lesbian wedding. And honestly, love that for her.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Leigh. Thanks, Ellie and Leigh, and welcome to our 141st installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, everybody's gone surfing. Surfing 'cause we're gay.
Yes, that is accurate.
That's what I watched. I don't know what to tell you.
That's exactly what it is. I agree.
We are joined by 2 very exciting guests this week. We have Erin Judge and Jenny Chalikian. They have been hosting a monthly comedy showcase at an LA romance bookstore, The Ripped Bodice, since 2016. They have a new album that just came out, I think, a couple months ago, called Live at the Ripped Bodice, where you can hear their most hilarious thoughts on their day-to-day lives as queer women in LA. Erin and Jenny, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. We're thrilled to be here. And I'm even more thrilled to talk about what we're going to talk about because it's a subject of great passion for me many, many years now.
This is one of her
Yes.
favorite movies.
That is amazing and makes sense. It makes complete sense. And for those of you who are listening, we are talking today about Blue Crush, 2002 hit film.
Was it a hit?
Box office slam.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the thing though. I looked at it, like it has a pretty high rating on it has a high rating on Amazon because when I rented it on Amazon, it's like 4.5 stars.
Oh,
And I was like,
okay.
okay.
Well,
Interesting.
on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 62%, and I have now that I can officially call myself a screenwriter. I have a movie coming out in 2025 that I wrote, and I've been part of the whole production process. I have a much more critical eye on some of the technical flaws that have happened in this movie.
None.
I'm also
zero.
You're right.
0%.
No, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is a seamless masterpiece. But they're the 62% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's unfair. I think that this needs a higher rating just from the joy that it brings.
But I mean, how many Oscars did we count them up? Because it must have gotten a handful, right? Like maybe like something
At least
5,
at
6,
least a Golden
just-
Globe. At least.
They had a solid showing at that year's Oscars.
Best sports commentator pressed into service as a movie actor.
Mhm.
It was a real dark horse year, just no one saw it coming out of left field. It was crazy.
Best ensemble of random athletes that get cast and shoved into the movie for 15 seconds.
Mhm.
Best Billabong ad placement seamlessly woven into the plot. Okay?
I in no way noticed that this was just an ad for Billabong. Like, it's kind of like how the movie The Wizard, you don't really realize that it's about Nintendo until it's all over. Like, the Billabong is subtle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Except-
It just slides right through,
Yeah.
Goes down smooth.
I
Except
do
for the
wonder if
final
the
scene.
NFL also had to toss them some money for this
Oh.
because they say NFL a lot in this movie.
They do.
really do.
They could have been any professional sports athletes, like you could have gotten anyone. They could have played baseball.
It could have been
It's
gayer
true.
if they had a professional women's rugby team
Mhm.
instead of a professional NFL
wow.
team.
Wow.
I just want to raise the stakes
had
out
a
of the
moment.
gate. Yeah.
Yeah. We are so here for it.
Should we dive in,
Yes,
Ellie?
let's dive in. Hit us with our IMDb synopsis, Leigh.
For anyone who's not familiar with Blue Crush, the IMDb synopsis is as follows. As a hardcore surfer girl prepares for a big competition, she finds herself falling for a football player. That's it. One
That's it?
sentence. That's the whole thing. That's
That
just
is-
everything you need to know. That captures all the important plot points. There's a girl and a football player. What more could you possibly
in
need
a
to
big
know?
competition.
Yeah, it's always bad when your log line is the same as your show summary. Like it's
Yeah. Well, let's do better then. Who would like to volunteer first to give us their gay synopsis of the movie Blue Crush?
I can do that. And then I want Jenny
No
to do
pressure.
it.
No pressure.
So a group of, I think, orphans that are
Mhm.
just, new adult orphans. Like they're brand new to being grown up, and they're all hanging out in some sort of flop house situation that revolves around surfing in Hawaii. And they don't have enough money to buy snacks, which is a big challenge in their lives. They work as cleaning service at a resort because, Hawaii deals with a lot of tourism impacts, but all they want to do is surf, man. They have stoke. They wake up in the morning and all they think about is surfing, even if they have other priorities like sleeping or waxing a surfboard. If they can be convinced
Or
to drop
school.
that and go
Uh-huh.
surf instead. Also, it seems like school has like a late start, so everybody can surf beforehand. Anne-Marie is the most promising, and Lena is also there. And Eden is in love with Anne-Marie. And Eden is played by Michelle Rodriguez, and they're all, and Kate Bosworth is Anne-Marie, and they are all very, very, very beautiful in this movie.
Mhm.
They wear all kinds of tiny clothes to bed, to surf, and to drive home from surfing. And then basically Eden has to try to bully Anne-Marie into following Anne-Marie's own dreams, which are also Eden's dreams, and also Eden's in love with Anne-Marie. And
Incredible.
then there's a football player or something
Or so.
And she says, "What do I do?" And he says, "You don't ask me what. You're not the kind of girl who asks boys what they think." And she's like, "You're right." And so then she goes and listens to lesbians who tell her how to surf on the ocean. And she gets to, I don't know, win a Billabong.
I love that we went from a one-sentence synopsis to here are only the gay things that happen in this movie. And honestly, amazing.
The gay things are the main beats of the story.
Oh, yeah, they are. Now, Jenny, did you want to submit a gay synopsis, or you're just signing on to Erin's?
I think so. It's like, it starts out kind of like a gay Boxcar Children thing where, they're all orphans just kind of getting by. And she's been invited to this. They say pipe so much. They're
They
just
lay
like,
pipe all
pipe,
the whole
baby,
movie.
Yeah.
Pipe.
Yeah, we'll talk about that messaging. Don't worry.
She's taking care of her younger evil sister. I assume she's evil just because of the braids, but
especially in the early aughts. I mean, that was coded.
Yeah. They buck capitalism by being so bad at their jobs that when they're forced to clean once, they're just like, this is unacceptable. So then they teach football players surfing. Girls are mean to her and she flings herself into the sea. And then Michelle Rodriguez like gaily encourages her to surf. And she has video of her when she was like 12 or something. Surfing.
Yeah.
The love story in this is clear. We know who it's between.
Yeah, and you can tell that this movie really went out of its way to get like real surfers and real surf announcers, because the movie is a little hampered by that. You have
by the surfing.
Well, honestly,
too much surfing in this.
The announcer was the one where I was just like, "Who is this guy? He has the most flat affect."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
like,
when Kayla Kennelly, who we'll talk more about, I'm sure, when she comes on the scene, he says repeatedly, she goes like the guys.
Yeah.
Like she goes in like a man.
I feel like he says another thing about like
it was early aughts feminism.
Sir, on television, kids are listening.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He said another thing about how she has a sack or something.
Yeah.
She's all sack, yeah.
She's all
sack. She just charges it.
Yeah.
She also looks like she's a goalie for the NWSL on her like off time. Like she's like, well, it's too cold to surf. Might as well play professional soccer.
It's okay. We know that's a gay.
Ellie, what about you? Do you have a gay synopsis for Blue Crush?
Yes. For me, I would say Anne-Marie, scared of her gayness and her talent, decides to beard up and test out heteronormativity with this football player before realizing, what the fuck is she doing here with this man? She wants to surf and she wants to be with Eden. That's the story I saw.
You know what I love about this, Ellie? This might be the closest our synopses have ever been to each other.
Mine's exactly yours.
I almost perfectly. I did really try to lean in to the one sentence of the IMDb write-up because it always makes me laugh when someone sums up a movie in one sentence on IMDb. I think those are hysterical. So I really tried to capture one sentence, and I said, an anxious Hawaiian lesbian tries to surf back into the closet before an elder dyke helps her find the courage to ride that big wave over the rainbow into her girlfriend's waiting arms.
Yes.
Pretty accurate.
I will also say at the end, they kiss. She kisses her on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right that there is a rainbow. That is like, that is right there.
Yes. It was important to mention it. So
those board shorts, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. She hates her ex-boyfriend. Like there's all kinds of good shit in here.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the ex-boyfriend, please.
Yeah, we need to talk about the men in this movie, including some really weird trivia that I learned about one.
Excellent. I can't wait. Start us off though, because Erin, you we're saying this is one of your favorite movies, the favorite movie. Tell us a little bit, what is your experience? What's the backstory with you and Blue Crush? Take us back to 2002.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might have been 2002 when I saw it. It was like, I didn't see it in the theaters, but when I first saw it, I was like, this movie is so fun. This movie is so girl energy. Like, it's centered in women, and like, it's like your perspective never really shifts away from that, which I think can be less common in athletic movies in some ways. And like, I like a good sports movie. And I think the thing that really hit it home for me, though, was that I saw this for the first time during a New England winter. And I was like, this movie is the warm tropical vacation I needed. Like, the whole first 20 minutes of the movie, you just start to sweat because they're so hot. Like, it's just like they're in tropical paradise and they're wearing, like I said before, almost nothing. And like, you're like, wouldn't it be nice to not just be in my blanket with my clanking heater and my pallor setting in for the winter? And like, I just was like, I need to watch this movie every winter. And I did. I started watching it every winter until I moved to California. I watched it every single winter because it got me through.
Wow.
It's also, I feel like you have to express for any of our listeners who are not from New England, the distance to like how far away Hawaii is and feels. Like, it is accurately represented in how impossible it feels like to get to Hawaii from New England. It's like,
but Blue
it's like
Crush makes it possible to bring Hawaii to your living room.
Yeah, that mythical
and
paradise.
Hot girls in bikinis.
It's
and
right
board
here.
shorts.
It's right in front of you.
Yeah, and they're like hot girls in bikinis, but they're athletes, right? So they're sporty and they're like strong. And like, so much of the movie is training. Like, can we talk about like running under the ocean with a volcanic rock in your arms and your two best friends trailing behind you like you're some sort of Peter Pan fantasy?
It is. It is quite the it's quite the throuple film.
Yeah, but Lena though, like, Lena is such an also ran. Like, I don't know what Lena's character means, except that like, if Lena wasn't there, it would be much gayer.
No, I have a strong argument about why Lena's there. I'll get to that. I want to hear Jenny, what was your experience with Blue Crush? Did you also have a yearly, a yearly viewing, a yearly worshiping session of Kate Bosworth?
About every 3 years, I would get caught in Erin would just get this look where she's like, I have to watch Blue Crush. And everything would stop and we'd watch Blue Crush. And I've reliably seen it. I think I've only seen it with Erin, except this one time where I reviewed Blue Crush on my own.
Is that a sort of well-known nature cycle, like cicadas emerge and Erin has to watch this
Blue
movie?
Crush, yeah.
When you guys are like making circles with your hands, all I can see is poor Kate Bosworth's body spinning around a wave.
Spinning in a wave.
He gets crushed again and again.
What's funny is Erin, she was just like, hey, with the kids and all and the screenplay, like, I need you to pick the movie. And so I had to pick a movie that, like, was gay, we both knew. And I was like, Blue Crush. And she's like, that's great. And then she texted, but it's already so gay. And I was like, no, that's just what we feel.
Yeah.
This is the point.
He's like, but it's already a gay movie.
Can I tell you, 141 of these in, the number of movies that Ellie and I have watched at this point in our lives where we've been debating, we're like, should we start a new segment where we bring a straight person on to explain what it is that goes through straight people's minds when they watch these movies?
Yeah. I would be so curious to see if a straight person would watch this and be like, she's in love with the football player. And you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What does that mean?
Actually,
Explain.
that would be so wild. We have yet to have a straight person on a Should Have Been Gay. I think that it would be very fun to argue with a straight person about the gayness of any of these films.
Yeah.
But I think they'd probably see it too. They would see it.
I know. Well, maybe. I don't know. Like, I was in the commentary, Michelle Rodriguez basically explains that her character is a huge lesbo.
She did.
If you listen to the commentary, yeah, like, it's like, and she says that, and I think she was in the closet when she said that in the DVD commentary. And my friend was like, is she gay? I was like, oh, she's gay. And my friend was like, what? This is another queer woman. And I was like, straight people don't talk like that. That would be really messed up if they did. And she's like,
No.
they don't? I'm like, no, that's
No.
she's outing herself here in this DVD commentary without even
By
being
saying
conscious
like
of it.
this
Yeah.
character must be gay, and you're like, okay, well, you're not straight then.
Yeah, well, I think she
Yeah.
basically says we needed Lena so it didn't just look like I was like lesboing out on you, Kate Bosworth, the whole time. Yeah.
And
Because she was
she's
lesboing out on
both
her.
right and wrong, because it would have looked like that, and Lena didn't help.
Lena's just like, oh, what's happening over here? Lena's just
Yeah.
surprised by everything. She's just like,
Yeah, Lena's there just as what I see like as like an extra golden retriever gay, but I mean, I don't know, is that just me?
I feel like she is quite she might be bi, because I feel like she does give some encouragement for the hetero shit that happens in this film. You know, I feel like she's like, you go get your man, and you're like, what? Why?
I
Why?
feel like she'd corner you at a party and tell you how she goes off vibes instead of labels. And,
Mhm.
I don't know how
that is Pam.
academic anyone here is, but this film, and it is a film, was based on the New Yorker essay entitled Surf Girls of Maui by Susan Orlean. And she is quite a nonfiction writer and a master of her trade. And this could not have less to do with the article that Susan Orlean wrote, the movie that came out of it, except that there's a gang of girls that are all surfers together. And I think that they were trying to establish that. And there's a character in the nonfiction piece that this is based on that kind of talks like this. And she manages to convey in the page that this girl is always talking like this, and that she's got like an upspeak and she's really encouraging, yeah? So you just got to go in there, yeah? And you got to charge it, yeah? And I think that that's Lena. I think that Lena is based on a real person.
I like her position in the film. I do like how she's just kind of like they live a weird life. They live a life where it's just like they're eating and subsisting off like Twinkies and Rice Krispies treats. Literally all they care about is a sport that could kill them. And they're just like, our parents are gone.
That's it.
Like, and you need, I think, someone in Lena also to just be there to kind of like buoy spirits. I don't know. I thought Lena was important.
She does lift the spirits. I like her in the scene where they're like chasing that man with the car. She makes me laugh.
How much? $20? $15?
Yeah. 150.
Even the guy's like, respect yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
He's like, you idiots, I'll give you 150.
He's like, have you eaten lunch today?
Yes. Leigh, what was your experience with Blue Crush? Did you just watch it?
I just saw it for the first time this weekend. I'd never seen
knew it.
Ellie always knows. Here's the thing. Especially for movies, early aughts movies that I somehow just never got around to in the like, high school peak of this type of film. I never watched Blue Crush. I don't know how this one snuck
Are you
by.
even gay, Leigh?
I don't know anymore. I'm unsure.
I just feel like for me, okay, like I feel like I haven't watched this in a long time, but I feel like anyone who watched it, I feel like you're gay. Because like the cover of this freaking movie is just like all of them in bikinis. And you're like, huh, what's this movie about? I'm so intrigued by these hot girls. But like, oh, I just love surfing. It lends to a gay lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I totally did. I just somehow missed this. Just missed it.
Wow.
And got to experience it for the first time this weekend. Here's what I can tell you is the funniest thing is watching this with Kelsey, who I think my wife had also never seen this, which she was like, oh, great, I'll get to watch it because she had a girl she went to school with, like high school with, whose mom, I think like was a producer on it or something. And she was like, oh, cool. Like, I know she worked on it and I've never seen the movie. And then And then we proceeded to watch a movie that was described, and I'm not even joking, described by my wife 3/4 of the way through as being like, this, I thought this was a comedy and this is like a horror film. Like, what?
Why?
She
Because
was-
the surfing is such a nightmare. Like every time she goes in
Yeah,
the wave,
so-
you're like she's about to get
Yes.
pummeled.
Oh, I
Every
thought she
time-
meant
okay.
like every time there was a man on screen, it was like a jump
Yeah,
scare.
yeah.
She was like, ah!
Also that. Also that.
The nut
Also,
hugger.
I think she only barely made it through the scene where they all clean the room and are dressing up in the person's clothing, and then they like start coming back and knocking on the door, and she's like, "What are they doing?" And she was so stressed out. But I want to tell you, from my experience, how many times they showed that clip of her smacking her head on the rock. 400 times in this movie. And I can tell you that confidently because every single time it happened, Kelsey jumped 4 feet in the air, hid behind a blanket, going, ah!
It's terrible.
It's
They're
so
like, she
unnecessary
almost died
and
last year,
so
but get her back in the water.
yeah, it's so much. And so she was just like, why do they keep showing it? She's like, I'm so stressed out, I can't handle this movie. So it was a great time. Everyone really enjoyed it, and it's super gay.
The
and I'm
one
excited.
thing I did want was they did show her dreaming about hitting her head, like her fully in
mhm.
reality being like crushed by swells. I wanted her to be like once, like show her actual skill. Because I felt
Yeah.
like before the pipe thing, like she wipes out every time, or she
Yeah.
just like chickens out. And I wanted like one time for her to just like nail it. And maybe at the end she's like, I wish I could do that every time. I'm just in my head or something like that. But like, I wanted her to, because really all we do is hear about how skilled she is.
Oh yeah, it did feel very much like they were like, "That's the best surfer I've ever seen," and I'm like, "Is she?"
Is she?
Yeah.
Drew? Yeah. By the end of the movie, we're all Drew. We're like, just take a fucking wave. Just one.
Like, you suck.
Paddle, bitch.
Waste of a wave.
Mm-hmm.
It's triple overhead. 20-second swells. Something. I'm trying to come up with the
God.
lingo.
Yeah, no, but I think
Yeah.
that felt accurate.
crushing
I
it. You're
thought,
doing great.
Yeah, you're blue crushing it. Why do we think this film is gay?
Yeah, where do we want to start? Where are we starting here? There's so much.
Ellie, I want to say, when did you watch Blue Crush for the first time?
Okay, so I probably saw it in 2002 for the first time.
Okay.
But then I rewatched it today just to make and I was like, okay, I remember this, but I feel like I don't remember any of the plot points. I did not remember this man at all. I remembered all the half-naked girls surfing.
In your defense, Ellie, why would you?
No
Yeah.
reason. No reason.
I think your gay synopsis is so apt, Ellie, because and it goes with what you were saying about your wife, Leigh, is like she's like dealing with something the entire time. And every time she's in the water, there's like a slow motion, like trying to get out of the water. There's bubbles, there's water sounds, there's swirling. And it's like a metaphor for being stuck and trapped and like spitting on yourself. Like you can't come out to yourself kind of thing. There's a lot of that energy there. And like, yeah, the thing you said about the cover of the movie, like with the 3 surf girls, like if Ryan Phillippe isn't in the movie also, and like nobody's getting murdered, it doesn't fit into the timeline of movies like that. If hot girls are going to be on the cover of a movie looking so serious, the fact that it's a sports movie, Jenny, you were saying it came out the same year as Bend It Like Beckham,
Yeah.
which
Tracks.
Great sports year for women. Women's sports movies.
sports movies are very important, but you have to like the sports movie, you know? And like, this is a very dangerous sport. It's a very like the horror movie analogy is very real when you're watching it. I found myself not breathing watching it. Like you hold your breath when they hold their breath, and it's a lot of the time.
Because going back in the closet is scary, and we should all be terrified.
Yeah, and you can't even take a deep breath. You can't
It's
inhale.
a nightmare. All I can picture while you're saying that is I'm imagining like, Ellie, didn't you like famously cry after kissing some guy? Like what?
Famously. Yes.
Didn't you famously? Yeah, don't we all know this story?
Okay, I will tell
In
this
college
I
or
will tell
something?
I will tell this story.
Okay.
So I was kissing one of my very good friends. And
Pre-coming out.
pre-coming out. And in the middle of kissing him, I started to cry. And I was like, I think I'm bisexual. And obviously, famously also not bisexual, because I don't feel like a bisexual would cry while making out with a man. But that was a moment for me where I was like, I love this person. They're a great friend. They're a beautiful human being. And kissing them is so repulsive to me. I want to cry.
Because I'm bisexual.
Because I'm bisexual.
I just feel like that story feels relevant to what you were just saying, Erin, in the sense that, like, that's how I'm picturing Anne-Marie through this whole movie, right? She's like, I'm just picturing, like, every lesbian who's like, oh no, I hooked up with a dude, and now it's just like this horror scene that plays on a loop in my head of like, oh
Wait,
God.
so her hitting her head is me kissing this man?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
that's where I'm going with this, exactly. Thank you.
Her underwater nightmare
it's
is me
just
kissing
trauma.
a perfectly sweet boy.
It's just a trauma loop, okay? That's all we're getting at. It's fine. It's fine. It's the same. It's the same thing, okay?
Thanks
We
for
just have
bringing
to
that
conquer
up,
our
Leigh.
I
fears.
weirdly think that story is weirdly sweet. Like, it
is.
sounds
No,
like you
you know what?
cared for him.
It is sweet because also he was very nice. He was like, "It's okay," and he like hugged me, and I just cried.
I guess
So
it's
it was
sweet
very-
knowing your whole trajectory and like zooming out, but
Yes. No, it actually is sweet and also just so funny because it's like in the moment, like, why would I think I was bisexual? Like, why am I crying? Like, dead. So yeah, that was a big moment for me. Yes, my trauma loop, Leigh. That's so funny.
That's all I'm saying, okay? It just makes sense. I think it makes sense. She's just a little stuck. She's a little terrified. She's a little afraid of coming out. I don't know. They don't really fully explain why her mom left, but in my head, I'm just like, Mom walked in on you with a girl. She skipped town. Now you're raising your sister, and you're trying to beard up with a rich man. And, like, I get it. Makes sense.
Yeah, Penny. I'm very worried about Penny, y'all.
I'm very
very worried about
Penny.
Penny.
It's concerning. Yeah. The parent in me watching this movie now, as opposed to if I'd watched it in 2002, was like, oh God, get that girl to school. Make her eat a meal. Cook her a vegetable.
understand, was she smoked pot out of an orange? Not to sound like I've heard apple, but like oranges are very juicy. Like, can you do
She's gonna get volatile organic compounds in her lungs.
Yeah.
She's gonna get like, popcorn lung from
yeah, she's the original vapor.
The bowl in the orange might be the healthiest thing she had that week, okay? So let's just let her have it.
Also, they
Yeah.
go to that like party that's out of like a Sublime video, and there's all those men, and then she's just this little sweet-faced 12-year-old child on the couch, and you're just like, what? Also, I feel like most of the men, I think all of the men in this movie, like whoever wrote, a man did co-write this movie, but like it really feels like somebody who just like read a story about what men might be like once, and then like wrote some characters. Like some of them are mean jerks who like men do this thing where they like fight and then they act like it didn't happen and they make up. So like let's do that, and like they're also really critical. They talk a lot of shit, and then they're good guys.
And we also like they love asses, They're like
Right. Men really want to talk about butts and like picking up women. Yeah. And also
You
straight
guys-
women are only gold diggers who want to marry rich football players.
Yeah.
That was a very-
lesbians could give two shits.
Like they're just like the women who are the straight women in this movie are just the football players' wives, and they're horrible.
Horrible.
They're horrible people.
Horrible people.
The fact that they were like talking shit about her in the bathroom. Yeah. Actually, most people in this film are a caricature of heteronormativity.
Yeah. Or just like, what would a straight person say? I don't know, something terribly douchey.
Yeah.
Were the writers closeted? They're just like, I guess since they're straight, they're going to be really mean and not believe in her.
He's gonna punch that dude in the face over a girl. There you go.
Once
Now
my
you've done
friend
it.
wrote a fan fiction. He's a gay man, and this was when he was bisexual, but he wrote a fan fiction about a woman and a man, but like no body part is ever mentioned in the like. It was the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. He's like, and she, like I don't know. It was,
And then the thing went in the you know what.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
kind of like
And it was hot.
Yeah, I've heard it's like this. I was like,
That's like, but that's you. We've all read that fan fiction. We've all had that experience where you read it and you're like, I'm suddenly getting to like the sexy times, and I'm pretty sure you are 15 years old.
yeah.
And you don't know how any of this works. You're like, this is not feasibly. There's not a. You can't contort in that. Whose hand is there? Like, what are you talking about?
You're like, cut the scene, end the
Yes.
scene.
I want to talk about another element of this movie that is
Sorry, the film. Yes, the important film analysis
that belongs
yes.
in the Criterion collection.
Cinema.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
one of the things that I've always thought about this movie is like, it sounds weird. It's a weird sounding movie. When people talk, they sound weird. And I can tell you right now, having been through this process with the movie that I'm working on, which is an very, very, maybe the gayest movie ever made, but on purpose, it is all ADR. It is 100% ADR.
Yeah.
They are on the ocean getting terrible audio, and then they just like make poor Michelle Rodriguez go into a booth and scream her lines as if she's on a jet ski, but she's in a booth. And that's just every critical scene in this movie has to be ADR'd. And it detracts from the drama.
That's a good point. I thought it was more because a lot of the people in the movie are not actors.
No, I think it's a combination of both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is like, I mean, I get it, 2002, but like, on TikTok now, you can just get a little mic with a little wind buffer at the top. You could just, hook those up on them. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Crashing waves, nothing.
There's so much in this movie where I'm just like, how did they do it? Where is this helicopter? Like, who's got a camera? Do they have scuba cameras? Like, is this a nature documentary? Do they have the National Geographic team with them? Like, what's going, or how much of this is like faked?
How many of these waves did Kate Bosworth have to surf on to get this shot? That last one is clearly green screen.
The green screen was cracking me up at the end with her hand up. Yeah.
And it's like Billabong, and it's like centered, and the Billabong is perfectly like it is coming at the camera.
Yeah.
Billabong.
Fish rise up in the wave in the shape of the Billabong logo.
Yeah. a little dolphin jumps over the rainbow in the background, It's just
a Lisa
good.
Frank folder and like with surfing on top.
It is true though, because I honestly was thinking that as I was watching it, Erin, that there are a number of places where there's like, it feels almost overly intentional how many lines of dialogue you get from the back shot of someone who's supposed to be talking, and I was like, oh, didn't work out so well in the booth, did it?
Yeah, that or like they decided to change what they say. So like you can't they don't have the lips that line up because they have to like put together a different plot for like why these guys. Okay, can I tell you my fact that I learned about these guys?
Yes, please.
Okay. So at the beginning, I don't know if you noticed, Lena, our favorite important character who is crucial and very central. She says to this guy, hey, Tamayo, how are the waves out there? And he says, broke my board, like it's pretty crazy. Like, and he broke his surfboard and they have a couple minutes with him. That guy got eaten by a shark.
Fully eaten. He's dead.
They found chunks of him.
Oh.
Like, sorry, you can edit that out. They found clear evidence of shark attack, and I guess he was also in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait,
but he was
during filming?
No. This was like 3 years ago.
Okay,
really
Jesus.
recently.
That is so crazy. That is.
He was a professional surfer and an actor sometimes because he could surf and he was good looking. So he's also in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I guess. But he got eaten by a shark.
Wow. That is so crazy.
Yeah. Which is like, I feel like when I feel like Blue Crush reminded me of all these like like there was a girl, like a surfer in Hawaii who she got her arm bitten off by a shark when she was 14 and she was like famous. It's just such a dangerous sport, and you're watching it. And like, I think that's so much of the drama that they're trying to convey in the movie, but it's like, it's gruesome. Like when they said that more people have died in this spot than any other surf spot combined, it's like even more than Australia. Like that's crazy because it's a very lethal sport. A lot of people die doing it.
And yeah, the stakes are very high.
It's crazy also that given that, people give her so much shit. Like, the whole movie
Like, just
is
get back
just
in
people,
the water. Like, what are you so scared of?
They're like, maybe just get on your fucking board, Anne-Marie, and, like, stop being such a baby about it. Like, what, you just almost died a few years ago? Get over it, okay? Don't you want a sponsorship? And I'm like, I mean, good friends you've got.
So, well, they need to take it out. They don't have another plan for like how they're going to make more than
is their only way
20
out,
$25 a day is like the maximum they can earn unless she's like a Billabong.
Penny's already blown it.
Yeah, no, it's true. But here's an interesting question that we can unpack here. What do you guys make about the fact that like in between her set where she like gets pummeled after she resurfaces during the competition, which is also known as Act 3 of the movie. It's just all competition.
Yep.
Eden is like, don't go back.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back. But Football Joe is like, you know, I got sacked and now I probably have CTE, but man, when I get a pass right into the fingertips of a receiver, you know, you got to go find out what you can do in this world.
Yeah.
And then she goes
gotta
back
listen
out
to
there.
the guy with brain damage. That's who you want in your
on
corner.
your team. Yeah.
I'm sorry, are you saying that rich white men shouldn't be telling us all what to do all the time?
He got hit once.
Doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Who would know better what we should be doing?
Yeah, it's almost like if you just give them the keys, they can make amazing fast decisions and change everything overnight.
Brilliant.
So we should have listened to the lesbian.
Yeah, and I think too from a gay lens, obviously, this was also like wrecking me. The whole love story in general. I was like, this is so dumb. Because it was like they were acting like now that this is the love of her life and like it's gonna be forever kind of thing, right? Where she was like, you're just gonna leave me like everyone else kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, didn't you know that? Like, this is why are you acting like you wanted him to stay either? But my point being, Eden has clearly been her girlfriend and is in love with her forever. And so of course Eden's gonna be like, hey, I don't want you to die.
Yeah.
And this man's like, fuck it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah. I will say one thing, though. I think that if we're going to make this gay and we're going to be like, he doesn't mean anything to her, what he is an elite athlete. And so is she. Right. So, and he doesn't have stakes in this sport. So as peers to elite athletes, he's talking to her and being like, you know, it's tough and sometimes it's scary, but like, this is what we have to do if we're going to actually see what our bodies can do. And so like if we just make this a gay movie and he's just like there, like there's a little bit of an energy of like she needs somebody who can be her mentor when it comes to that kind of stuff. This is my charitable interpretation.
I would even go one further because
but true.
In my interpretation of this movie, it literally is she is trying so hard to beard up that like even he can see through it because because as we said, she flings herself into the sea when she realizes that she's like, oh no, like I'm being perceived as this like hetero, you know, like gold digger. Yeah, so
she has zero coping skills. Like
no, none.
That is her first move.
Take off her shoes. Literally, they're all of them. Their coping skill is to like take off their shoes, take off other articles of clothing, like just like
and hurl yourself into the sea.
And or like just get out of there.
So I feel like in my re-envisioning of this movie as a gay coming out story, I just feel like he's your guy in college, Ellie. He's just like, it's okay that you don't want this. Actually, like it's fine. Go out there and like find who you are, you know? Can't do it if you're too afraid. Like that's his role. That's all I need him for in this movie. Or just be like, you don't actually have to want to fuck me. That's fine.
Oh, just to say, when he literally says to her, she's like, what should I do? And he's like, don't listen to me.
Yes.
Like, he's like, you're not the kind of girl who listens to men.
Right.
And I'm like, he literally knows. He's like, you don't give a shit what I think. Like, you're a lesbian.
I think if you actually take that line word for word, what does she say? She's like, what kind of girl am I? And he's like, the one who doesn't need a man.
Yeah.
To tell her what to do.
She says yes. She says would never ask a guy what to do. Something like that.
Yeah.
Something exactly like that. It's pretty thinly veiled, I think. So, you know, listen.
But the other thing when we're talking about beards, just real quick, like as she gets out of her green screen Billabong moment, she goes and kisses him for the sports photographers. This is a savvy move of a person who is, trying to be a brand influencer. You want to get on the cover of something other than Surf Weekly, like do that and then kiss that guy. He's on Sports Center every day. So like that's a level up. And so I think maybe he's in cahoots with her out of respect for the game that she has and the like cojones it takes for her to do what she does.
I'm gonna not say anything at all other than, yeah, if you want to like get extra press, kiss a big football player. What? Who said that? Anyways.
Oh my God, you guys.
Let's take a quick break right there and we'll be right back.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hi, I'm Sarah Gabrielli, and I've traveled to every single lesbian bar in the country for my podcast, Cruising. Each episode of Cruising features a different space and tells the stories of the humans that run it and the humans that call it home. You can listen to Cruising on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Season 1 and 2 are available now, so be sure to binge them before Season 3, which will go beyond the bars to queer bookstores, farms, peace encampments, and more, premiering February 4th.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. 2 guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're 2 dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Okay, I would like to talk a little bit more about Eden because I feel like there is a pretty big arc of jealousy, right? Once Anne-Marie starts bearding up, who is she start fighting with? Lena's like, you go, girl, you get your man. And Eden's like, but the competition. And I feel like the competition really is, you're not spending any time with me.
Shoot. That shot where she's just alone on a jet ski. Wow. Powerful stuff. By the way, I read that she does all of they're like Michelle Rodriguez did all of the jet ski things, including pulling like a professional surfer into the wave. And I was like, but should she have? Is that we were all just, unless like they hired Michelle Rodriguez because she came with previous jet ski experience, which I would believe. I would believe that would be top
You're
of the
like
CV.
Michelle Rodriguez, most famous in the early aughts for her DUIs in Hawaii. Just Just some questions.
I don't. Yeah, you can't get a DUI on a jet ski. That's.
Yeah.
Can you? Maybe you can in Hawaii. Although I just gotta another plot hole is just like, why would any NFL player with a contract be allowed to surf? Like, they would just be that they're like, their agent would be like, you're gonna be in breach of contract if you mess up your knee. Forget it.
Yeah. Or get in a petty fight with like a tiny, stringy, annoying man on a beach. Like, I feel like no one is that. I can't imagine whatever he's getting paid. Like, no one's throwing that away for your Hawaiian vacation fling hookup, right? Like, come on.
I do think that scene is an homage / ripoff of Point Break, because they just need like a bunch of shirtless guys punching each other. Or like, that's what every surf movie needs, is like guys with pecs and like shaved chests throwing each other into the sand.
I was going through my DVDs looking for movies for this, and I was like, "Oh, Point Break! It's like it's a lesbian thing, Jenny. It's the
because that's a gay movie.
That movie is also gay. Can you make a straight surfing movie?
I don't think
We've done gay. We've done gay. Should have been gays that aren't lesbians. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
can you make a straight
preaching
surfing
Point
movie?
Blank? If you have Point Break, if you haven't seen it, go see it.
At this point, we're not convinced straight movies exist in a
At
general
all.
sense.
Oh, yeah.
We've never seen one.
Sure.
Yeah. Can't think of one.
Name a straight movie. You're wrong.
Strong argument. You've given me a lot to think
right?
about.
That's it. That's really it.
141 we're at, okay? They don't exist.
Wait, I would like to talk about the actual surfers. So, Erin, I feel like...
Wait, are we done with Ed and Eden already?
Oh, do you want to talk... Sorry, do you want to talk more about Eden?
I just feel like there are some gay moments that we haven't quite really dug into yet. Because, like, the sitting on the jet ski... Yes, gay. The whole conversation where she's like, I rented us a jet ski. Like, why don't you even care? And then she gets her another jet ski because she's... Where are you finding... I'm like, you couldn't buy breakfast yesterday. Where are you digging up the money to rent 2 days back to back of a jet ski for your girlfriend, right? She's so jealous of this football player. And I think that we need to spend some real time on the actual line of dialogue in this movie where she's like, you are so hung up on this guy and like you just got to get out there where it's just like you and one other girl and like that's all that matters. As far as like actual words that were said by characters in this film, I feel like that's an important one personally.
That should be the log line. It's like a wave and two other girls.
Two girls.
Yes.
You just gotta get wet with another girl and on TV.
I know.
It's just you and her.
It's just you. That's the only thing that matters. Like there's no one else in the world but the two of you.
And the pounding rhythm of the sea. You got to get out there and you got to take turns riding.
Given the historical context of movies cutting to waves crashing on an ocean instead of giving us lesbian sex scenes, honestly valid. So real of Eden to say that. Just be like, just get out there and you and one other dyke. That's all.
I just wish they didn't make Eden so whiny. You know, she's kind of hectoring. She's like, but come on, you got to go do the thing, you know? And like, it's like, give her something else. And all they give her is creepy home movies of the object of her affection as a tween surf queen.
But it really establishes how long she's been in love with Anne-Marie, I think, you know?
Because also, how easy was it for her to find that video? Like, that's the thing. She's watching it like she's watched it like a million fucking times.
Yeah.
Like, she's watching tape as her coach, right?
Yeah.
Like, only it's from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's it's dark.
And she's like, and that whole story where she's like, you just... You know, you were so good, and you were like, I'm gonna beat you, and I was so mad, because I knew you were right. I knew you would beat me in a surfing competition, and that's why I was angry, and that's why I now live with you, and my whole life is you.
Also, I will say maybe the most sort of like, this is just for lesbians line is when they say, and they had to throw up that dumb rule so that the boys you couldn't beat the boys. Like, you know, like when she references the fact that you would have beat all the boys if they hadn't made a rule to prevent you from doing so. Like that.
Yeah.
That to me is maybe the most overt moment in the movie.
Her whole storyline, though, like, there's nothing that I love more than early aughts movies when you have a character who is watching your friend actively fucking up left and right. You're watching her, like, drop the ball on trying to pseudo parent her teenage sister. You're watching her get fired from her job, right? You're watching her, like, just all of this stuff, and you're not upset until the second there's a guy in the picture. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Like, she's not upset about anything until there's a man.
That's it.
The second there's a man, it's just so much.
I know.
Much.
It's so gay. And it's also like, I think about female athletes and just like all the stories you hear about their trajectories with coming up with like knowing each other from a very young age and like being in the same sport. And then now like with the NWSL, Jenny and I follow the NWSL, they're all marrying each other.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's so crazy. And I think about like Sam Kerr, the Australian soccer player. She apparently was like amazing at Australian rules football. That was her actual sport when she was growing up. And she would beat all the boys. And then she said, and then the boys would find out that I was a girl and then they would cry.
Oh, as they should.
And I love that so much. And I feel like that's the energy. That's like the pride that Eden feels for Anne-Marie is like, you made the boys cry. That's how good you were.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's like, and fuck those boys.
Mm-hmm. And Sam Kerr and her wife kind of remind me of Eden and Anne-Marie.
But also speaking of the real athletes, like all of the surfers that they put in Blue Crush, what's her name at the end? Full gay.
Oh my God. There's like in 1992, nobody was like, or it was 2002, but even if it was 1992, no one would be like, is that person gay? There was just
so obvious.
Yes, we were there.
Yes.
We were there.
The scene at the gas station where that other one like takes her sunglasses down and like is like, ooh,
surfer
girls. I was like, it was great.
They are obsessed. Like, that's the thing. Like, also, these three girls are obsessed with these other professional surfer girls, right?
Yeah, they're obsessed with these dykes and their wolf cuts and their bikini tops. I mean, come on.
I think a new sort of like Boston marriage euphemism should be like, oh, she's her Billabong sponsor.
Yeah.
I just travel the country with my Billabong rep.
My Billabong rep.
We both wear rings because we're so into Billabong. We had a special commitment ceremony to share our love for Billabong.
Is she, your Billabong sponsor?
Yes.
Well, and how funny is it to have your clear elder dyke character come out and be like, what are you doing? Like, what do you need some help?
Let's get you in the game.
Let's get you out there. Let's
You're holding
ride
back.
a wave, She's like, come on, just paddle in there. Just get wet a little.
I know,
Like,
I love
just
how
get on
she's
in.
like,
don't be afraid.
that woman rode so many waves and she was like, all right, that's enough. Let's get you up. Like, you know what I mean? She was like, I just fucked him. Like, it's your turn. Like, it's fine.
Well, that's the
I've
thing.
had enough.
Sometimes with like female, like I'm the only girl in this male-dominated sport. It's all about her, but like this person helps her out with the waves, and like she's just like, it'd be great if I could be on the magazine, but honestly, any girl could be on the magazine. Like, honestly, that was like a huge. I was just like, that's a very supportive take that honestly doesn't always make the cut in these kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it is just the one girl.
Yeah. And as a screenwriter, I love the whole, especially for a sports movie, like you don't like, it's not like the ending that you like expect of like, you win, hooray. But like, it's a happy ending that isn't like, and you're the champion. Like, I love that when they manage to pull that off. I find that satisfying. And that's what they did here.
But it's funny in the way that they did it, because I feel like the whole thing about the movie is being like, you're this incredible surfer that nobody's heard of yet. Like, you had what it took to hang with the boys and all this stuff. And then at the end of the day, it feels like the victory is just like, you got a sponsorship. And I'm like, you won capitalism, even if not the competition. Hooray!
Well, she got the cover.
Yeah,
I
and
know,
then you're
but that's what I
part of
think is funny.
but you're part of a team now, right? Like it's like
Mhm.
I think what the other thing that's very noticeable when the competition starts is that all those women are significantly older than Kate
Yeah.
Bosworth.
Mm-hmm.
It that happens in skateboarding too. There's always like really, really young people and then just like 50-year-olds banging out a half pipe.
But like it's cool because they're like, they know the circuit. This is their job. And their
Yeah.
job is to surf at competitions, but like they don't have to win. It's like these solo sports like golf and surfing. It's all about the sponsorships. And so like, it's making the team. And that's what they call it, right? Like the Billabong team. Crew.
Yeah.
Great.
And yeah,
Now they're
and that's-
teammates.
I know, and I do feel like it is like, even though it's a solo sport, they emphasize the collaboration, which is so nice. Yeah, it doesn't feel like, the boys are competitive with her, right? The boys are like,
Yes.
you suck, get off that fucking wave, bitch, whatever. And you're like, what the hell? What is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Well, they
Um,
offer like block out a wave for her. Like it's not
at the
just
beginning, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's he does it in a dickish way. He's like, you're coming over here. I'll have the boys block for you. Like, show us what you got. Come on. We're gonna do
Absolutely.
this.
But like he's not capable of anything else. That's
No.
what he can do.
That's
It's
his
not
big
just
step.
like
He's
a
like,
clear
that's the
cut
view I
like
remember.
yeah. Just
And that's the other thing is it's implied that they're exes, which is just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a beard ex though. Like he's such a I'm gonna date the most obvious dude in high school, like he's the coolest surfer dude. Of course you dated him.
She's an athletic, hot blonde. So someone's going to pursue her and she's going to be like, I guess this is my boyfriend. Like I'm swept up. I really only care about surfing, but I guess I'm his girlfriend now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she was not into him, and that's why they had an ugly breakup, and that's where we are now when the movie starts.
Yeah, she's like, I hate your guts.
Yes. Also, can we talk about how gay Drew is, though? Because in addition to the whole interaction at the end with the football player, which I found very funny, where he's like, oh, I need a picture. I need a picture with you. Hey, dude. I also just love the whole scene in the fight when his little like best friend behind him is like rubbing his shoulders. He's like giving him like a little back massage, and he's like, yeah, you got him, bro, you got him. And I'm like,
kick his ass. Kick his
what's
ass.
happening here?
I thought you were going to talk about when they're taking the picture, the little guy taking the picture is like, fluff out his bangs.
Yeah.
He's just like-
yeah.
Fix his hair. Yeah.
Fix
Yeah.
his hair. No, they're a little gay. They're a little coded as well, as all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
We're trying to get
Oh,
with
for
those
sure.
girls. Look cute
Yeah.
in this picture. Like
Yeah, make sure you look as hot as possible in this picture. It's not for me. It's for my
Flex a
friend.
little. Flex a little more. Yeah. Ooh, wow.
Sniff
That's
my
nice.
armpit.
I can feel those.
Those girls are not paying attention at all.
No.
They don't give a
He
shit.
has never talked to those girls in his life. It's fine. It's fine,
fine.
Drew. He'll come out one day.
Anything else gay we want to talk about before we go into our characters that we're shipping?
I think flinging yourself into the sea is the most gay, honestly. Eden, close second. Close second with Eden. But flinging yourself into the ocean at the first sign of stress, very gay.
Is it flinging yourself into the ocean to get away from a man, or is it flinging yourself into the ocean under a giant rainbow with your two best friends?
Both.
Which one?
Did you know they almost cut that? They were like, this is too much. It's
No.
so funny.
It's the perfect ending.
It's so funny. I love this big gay movie.
Jenny, in our notes document, who's a nerd, wrote out Kayla Kennelly's line. And when I tell you to go, you got to go. You got to paddle your little heart out. You can't hesitate. You can't pull back. You can't hold back. No fear. All right?
Yes.
No fear. Hold your breath and dive in, girls.
Yeah.
Okay?
And when I
That's
tell you to
all we're
go,
saying.
you got to go.
You gotta go.
Can't
Yes.
hesitate.
Yeah.
It is
Listen.
It gives elder gay so hard.
When that moment arrives, you just gotta ride that wave.
Got to hammer it home.
You gotta can't be too afraid. Can't hesitate. Can't pull back.
It's the rhythm of the mighty ocean.
Yeah. Then the moment's gone. You know.
You gotta
Your
let it
chance,
take
missed
you.
it.
Mhm.
It's
This script
just,
is so gay.
Where are we now? What's
Written
happening?
by a straight woman and a straight man.
Honestly, those surfers do so much. Like, they look so hot surfing. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And like, honestly, I don't know how they got some of those shots. Like,
Yeah, me neither.
I
I'm
feel that with every
curious
surf
about
movie, though.
who they brought in to help them do that in the like I make surf movies or like surf videos. Like, you know how Spike Jonze was a skateboard video director? It's like a thing you could be in that time period.
I guess if you redid the movie to make it gayer, I would include more montages of the elder gays surfing to practice for the pipe rather than seeing dork-ass NFL players learning how to surf.
Yeah.
Or
but
change the NFL team to women's rugby, as we had discussed earlier.
Yes, I think
women's
that
rugby, yeah.
is the answer.
I feel like a distressing amount of this movie felt like montage scenes of just the fact that they were all enjoying that they got to shoot in Hawaii. Is that just me?
Fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of them were almost behind the scenes scenes that made it into the movie.
Yes. Yeah. They're
Just
like,
like
and now
the
we all get to go
actors.
surfing for the day for a movie.
But
We're
truly,
filming.
truly every other scene is a montage scene. Like, you have the exercise thing in the beginning. Even when they're, by the way, as house cleaners, they have to do every room 3 people. Like, I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yes.
you guys are so bad at this.
But there is
like-
a very long cleaning montage.
They have a
And I'm like,
cleaning
y'all don't have
montage.
much plot here.
They have a
No.
surfing montage. They have a shower montage. Like, it's like,
They have a dog and children surfing montage.
yes,
Uh-huh.
Dogs and children
is.
surfing.
it is a largely B-roll film.
It really is.
But again, pretty cool shots with the surfing. I gotta
Yeah.
admit. I was like,
B-roll and 20 repetitions of Kate Bosworth's head hitting a rock. You know, it's important.
The
They did
same
use that
B-roll over
thing
and
of-
over and over.
Kate making that tight turn. Kate making that tight turn like 20 times. I was just
Yeah.
like, shake it up. Like, I don't know.
All right, well, which characters are we shipping? Who do you ship together?
I mean, any combination of the girls, and I don't know. Penny needs to go to art school or something. Like, I'm physically worried about Penny. I was just like, good God.
Ship her away.
Yeah.
Ship her away to school.
Any
to be a
combination of
lesbian.
those girls, the mean girls need to have like a come to Jesus moment where they're just like, this heterosexual life is unsustainable. We need to. The football player needs to be like, wow, I'm into my guys. I love the way they run into me and knock me over. I don't
The
know.
football player and Drew, dark horse romance.
There's
Yes.
a lot of potentiality there, man.
Yeah.
I think Lena and Kayla Kennelly. I think we
Oh,
got to give
yes.
Lena something, and I think that would just be fun for everyone like involved. They'd have a good time because Kayla is also Hawaiian.
Can I tell you why? Because Lena, I didn't even get to mention, I think Lena's important in this movie because I don't think you could have gotten away. If Michelle Rodriguez thinks not having Lena there would have made her character seem gay, I think either Kate Bosworth or Michelle Rodriguez's character having that haircut, unsustainable for this film to exist as a hetero movie. I think Lena was there just to be like, and here's this house's wolf cut. It's on Lena, okay? She is there to be a little golden retriever gay with the gayest haircut of the bunch. And that's it.
Michelle Rodriguez did so much heavy lifting in the early 2000s for like, was she like the butchest representation we had back
Yes.
then? Like,
Yes.
sometimes
That's why I
even
can't believe it
now.
took her so long to come out as bisexual. Because I
Well.
feel like I think the talk was talking for a long time.
And she outed herself on the DVD commentary for this film.
That is
Yeah.
so funny.
Name a time you've seen Michelle Rodriguez on screen with sleeves.
Maybe if she's
Yeah.
wearing like a full police uniform.
So okay,
It's-
fine, accurate.
She's
True
only doing
story.
that when
If she's
she has
in a
like a jet
jumpsuit.
ski injury she has
Yeah.
to cover up or something.
yeah. I mean,
So
because
true.
I remember I didn't watch this, but I did watch Lost, and she wasn't not gay in that either. I'll tell you what, like that, just her whole shtick. She was typecast as angry dyke.
I remember watching the first Fast and the Furious so many times because I was like, maybe I missed something the first time. It's a terrible movie, I think. but I just kept watching it to be like, no, there's something here. What is it? What is it? It's just a bunch of hot women and cars. And
That's it. Michelle
There you go.
Rodriguez.
yeah.
Yeah, I was never mystified by Blue Crush. I was like, I need to watch that again and look at those girls surfing.
Mhm. We know
Let's
why.
do
We know why.
some ship names. So if we want to pick some of our top ships, obviously we have Anne Marie and Eden.
Andy.
What's our ship name?
Anne Marie.
Andy?
Anne Marie.
Anne
What
Marie.
was yours, Jenny?
Andy? I might have dyslexia.
Anne Marie. I
Breaking
like Anne Marie.
news.
Yeah, I'm like, my head is broken.
I want to submit the throuple because I love a throuple. So I feel like Anne Marie, Eden, and Lena all need to be in a
Lena
couple
and Marie?
together. Yeah,
Anne Marie
yeah.
and Lena.
Yes.
Anne
the
Marie,
surf girl.
yeah.
The surf girls. I also
Lena and
love,
Marie.
I also love what Jenny said earlier, the lesbian boxcar children.
Is great. It's so
Guys,
true.
we could make that tonight. We can bang out a script for that tonight.
What about Drew and Matt, I guess? Is his name
Matt.
right?
He's such a freaking Matt.
Yeah.
I only know she does the like how to win friends and influence people thing by calling him Matt every 2 words for like the whole scene that they're in. She's like, Matt, good job, Matt. Get up, Matt. Matt, get up, Matt.
She has
The
to
word
like use
that was
active
the 80
listening.
that was the ADR. Yeah.
She's most comfortable talking to a dog, I think.
Come, stay, sit.
They live
Matt-
with Lena, and I bet she needs a reminder that you're talking to her a lot, okay?
True.
Wouldn't Drew and it would be Drat.
That feels right.
Yes.
Or Moo, but that's not feeling Moo.
As bad as it should be, I think, their ship name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what it deserves. Incredible. I think what we can agree, Blue Crush
Should have been gay.
should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
All right, we're gonna head into our Q and Gay. We're gonna ask you some multiple choice questions. Are you ready?
Q and gay.
Question number 1: Who is the gayest? A. Anne Marie, B. Eden, C. Lena, or D. Drew?
Just to be literal, it's Eden. It's B.
Jenny, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like when Anne Marie makes that shift, it's gonna be like a born again gay where she's just like, I gotta go twice as hard. Like she's gonna be in it to win it.
She's proposing in a month, you're seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, for sure.
She's gonna pull up on a jet ski with all of her
Yes,
stuff.
honestly, I hope that Eden and Anne Marie get married
Yes.
and they have jet skis and it says just married on the back.
Incredible. They say their vows on a surfboard. I love this
Yes.
for them. Question 2. What movie was Matt Tolman's character the worst in? Out of A, Blue Crush, or B, Legally Blonde?
Legally Blonde. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Legally Blonde. He's the evil ex-boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
We're not rooting for him in this movie, but he's a good guy. He's
Yeah,
just
he's
like
acceptable.
He's fine. I actually kind of believe he's an NFL quarterback. Like I have about that level of interest in him. I'm like, how good can you be?
Yes.
And he's the classiest guy who picks up a girl as a maid at his hotel and then gives her a wad of cash and kisses her in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he takes a 50% or $50 discount. I was like,
Yeah, what was that?
He was like, I
about?
gave myself a $50 discount for paying in cash. And I was like,
Yeah.
for some
Anyways,
reason
what a
that
great
ring, like,
guy.
yeah.
He was like, come up, I have some money, but if you come up to my room, I'll give you more.
Yeah, no, it was not good.
That was,
It's
yeah,
not good.
that was weird. I do think when she and Eden were fine, like when Eden was like, this guy's distracting you from the competition. I feel like Anne Marie's rejoinder should have just been like, I got blueberry pancakes. Like I ate a full meal today.
With a
She'd be
fruit
like,
in it.
fair.
Yes,
That's
she's
fair.
like, I'm just trying to eat in, please.
Yeah. We're all having eggs Benny today. Like,
All right, question number 3. What is your preferred bathing suit cut? A, board shorts, B, nut huggers, C, bikini, or D, one piece?
Oh, I think in this movie, the whole bikini top board shorts combo is really at its peak.
It
Because
really
those
is
are
working
like, I
it.
feel like now you see like a tankini top or like a sports bra style top with board shorts. But like the bikini top, like the actual bikini top with the board shorts. So I'm gonna go. Can I go with like?
Yes, you can do
Andy.
a combo.
Yeah.
That was such a legit 2002 thing, though.
Yeah. But like the length of the board shorts and the cut of the board shorts on the girl conveyed a lot about her gender identity.
Yes.
They
His
still
sexuality.
do.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I feel like now it's like you can you can look at a grid that is like, what's your gender identity? Here's your cut. Like at the time, we were just kind of, you know, doing our best. But like now that's very deliberate, and there's a lot of like disruptive Instagram bathing suit ads that are targeted at me that will give me the wide variety of the options I can choose from, and in the same pattern.
Sounds so right.
What about you, Jenny?
Honestly, when I was looking at it, I couldn't help but just imagine if it was made today, like the more variety that we'd get in terms of bathing suits. But like, I'm a board shorts person, like 100%. To me, there's no other option.
I think the most apocryphal thing about this movie is that they're not all wearing wetsuits. Like, they should just all be wearing wetsuits. That's what surfers wear. And if they're going to be in the water all day, that's the safest thing to wear.
But
And like, it's just not
gotten
sexy.
men to the movie theater. Important question.
And lesbians. Because
So
did
true.
men like this film? Questionable. This is a movie for lesbians.
True.
Okay, question 4. What's your new gay euphemism out of A, riding that wave, or B, Billabong sponsor?
Billabong sponsor, 100%.
Billabong sponsor.
Yes.
Love it. Billabong, if you want to sponsor us,
Yeah.
hit us up.
Hit us up.
Billabong's going to send you a cease and desist.
All right,
I feel
question
like
number
Billabong could step into the queer swimsuit race easily.
Yes.
I feel like they haven't put
Easily.
enough R&D behind that, but come on.
Billabong,
It's,
be the next Subaru. Like, it's
It's
right
right
there.
there.
It's waiting for
Yes.
you.
All right, question number 5. What is your coping mechanism? A, smoke. B, strip. Or C, surf.
Surf, insofar as it's walk into the sea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
I was going to say
Submerge
surf
myself.
insofar as it is flinging myself into the
Into
ocean
the
at the
sea.
slightest
Yeah.
inconvenience.
Okay, I'll add option D, fling self to ocean. It just didn't have the nice alliteration, okay?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
you
Smoke, strip,
nailed
surf.
it. You guys are doing
Live, laugh, love, smoke, strip, surf.
yes.
That's it. Fling self into the ocean. Amazing.
Fling
I would
self
I
to
would be an
sea.
idiot who tries an orange though. I feel like she should have picked up that orange and been like, Penny definitely does need to stay in school. Like, I would have felt like that would have been the scene where like, guys, we really do need to get her there on time.
Yeah.
She's
We're letting her
struggling.
down.
It
Yeah.
should have been
Letting
just
her
a
down.
pineapple. Just a huge pineapple.
Just a gravity bong and a pineapple. Oh, God.
oh,
Incredible. Erin, Jenny, thank you both so much for diving into this movie with us. Let our listeners know, where can they find you on all the social medias, and where can they find your album?
Yeah, so our album is called Romantic Comedy, Live at the Ripped Bodice. They can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your fun albums and comedy content. They can find me on Instagram. I am Erin Judge, so IAMERINJUDGE. And everyone should look out for my movie that's coming out this year called Queens of the Dead. And it's going to be very gay.
Wait, is that a vampire movie?
It is a zombie movie.
Zombie.
Amazing.
Nice. Love
it's
it.
very gay too.
We love a gay zombie movie.
I'm on Instagram, Jenny Chalikian. That's CHALIKIAN. I didn't know how to be social media savvy when I first made that name. I
None
was
of us
just like,
did, you know?
They gotta learn it.
And our show
But,
is just at Romcom Show.
Romcom
And
show on Instagram.
people can check
yeah.
that out on Instagram too.
Amazing. And if they're in LA, they can come see you live.
Every third Thursday at the Rip Bodice Bookstore in Culver City, California.
It's a fun show. There's free wine and great comedy, honestly.
Is it just the two of you every time, or do you have other guests?
We have
Oh,
it's
no,
a
no.
stand-up showcase. So like we
Okay,
have a
nice.
bunch of stand-up guests and it's fun.
So fun. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was so fun.
It was really fun. This is great. This is like such a dream come true for me because this movie is so important to me and I feel like I've been holding it in for too long.
And now you can
And now
finally
it's
let
free.
it all out.
Yeah. Amazing.
Such a relief.
Let
I feel
it
like I
into
can
the
finally be
waves.
myself
After
after
all
this
these
conversation.
years. You're welcome.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community, and we just want to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. And we have to say, it seemed like people were really enjoying last week's episode on Agatha All Along with Poppy Lore. We had a great time. You were all loving it. So we just want to shout out a couple things. First, I want to shout out on someone who reached out to us on Instagram, user Love You Peaches, who commented to say, in all caps, OMG, what my 2 favorite things in one, I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Incredible. And you know what I love about that? I also can't tell which combination of 2 they mean. Is it us and Poppy Lore? Is it Poppy Lore and Agatha All Along? Is it us and Agatha All Along? Like, the throuple possibilities make this endless. Yeah.
Endless. Also, Pastillas and El Piso on YouTube said, I didn't know I needed this episode until now. So we are so happy to have surprised you with what you needed with the Agatha All Along episode. Honestly, what a great episode. Love Lauren. Love you all. So happy that we could share the joy of Poppy Lore, Agatha All Along, and Lez Hang Out all in one.
We also didn't know we needed that episode until we did it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was great. As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Lizette Stye,
Adi Benitez,
Sophia Phillips,
and Armani Gucci.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen.
And Andrea Doucette. Thank you all so much. We could not continue to make this podcast without your support and the support of all of our patrons.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Lez Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at lezhangoutpod@gmail.com.
You can check out our website at lezhangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up every week.
We're also posting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/lezhangoutpod to catch them.
Lez Hang Out is an independently produced show. It's hosted by us. Our audio production is done by Ellie. Our production assistant is Krista Murison. And other podcasting shenanigans are done by me.
If you want to support the podcast, the easiest thing to do is to rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast. We love hearing what you have to say.
If you want to join our Patreon, it is the best way to help support us in continuing this show. You get access to ad-free episodes, first of all. For just joining, you get access to those on the feed. You get access to all of our Patreon bonus episodes in addition, which also have no ads. You get access to our Discord chat, all sorts of cool stuff. You can join that at bit.ly/lezpatreon.
If you want to get some Lez Hang Out merch, you can get that at bit.ly/lezmerch. We have all kinds of new stuff up on there. We've got some little tumblers you can drink your gay iced coffee out of. We've got shirts, totes, all the fun stuff. bit.ly/lezmerch.
Remember, we also have a queer production company making queer podcast musicals with guaranteed happy endings. You can find that everywhere at Dollar Bean Prod.
Or at our website, dollarbeanproductions.com.
You can check out all of the episodes of our first show, The Flame, and our second show, Journey to the Heart, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
And if you want to help support us in making more musicals, you can join our Patreon at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at LSH Foster.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Leigh. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's incredible Only One story. We talk to real people dealing with issues like infertility, the death of a loved one, human trafficking, and women who, fake it. Oh, and we want to be fair, so we talk to celebrities too. Emmy winners like actor John Cryer, supermodels like Amber Valletta, and rock stars like Ryan Dusick. Everyone is invited to share their Only One story with our listeners. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee you that Only One in the Room has a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone. Download Only One in the Room on Apple or Spotify today.